Alright, so this is gonna be sort of an advanced Ark tutorial. I'm gonna go into some of the more nuanced things in the level. And this is sort of gonna complement Paradoxic's tutorial, so if you haven't watched that, might be good if you watch that first. Yeah, since I'm doing this live, if anyone has any questions in chat about stuff I'm explaining, then it's fine. Go ahead and ask. So I'm not gonna go too into the the basic stuff, really. Alright, so the start of this level. There's a couple different strats, and I guess the first thing is the movement. Different stuff with the movement here. So obviously hold whatever your exit vehicle button is on whatever control scheme to get out of that phantom early. Or pelican early, I mean. Then, I guess, wait, did I get a checkpoint? Yeah, okay. Right as you get out of this pelican, you can just slide here. I don't really think it's worth it. I think it's probably faster most of the time, just take this straight shot right here. So I don't do it. It also kind of messes, you shouldn't do it in full game either, because I think it messes with the checkpoints. So, the first thing. Then something else I wanted to touch on is, yeah, I got a checkpoint, that's good. Normally, what most people do is they do this slide, which is pretty good. It's pretty easy. Jump on the edge of the shadow here, but there's actually a different method to do this slide. I don't do it personally, but you can get a slide off that rock. This is something I've seen Pro Killer do, and it's actually faster if you do it well. See if I can, yeah, kind of like that, but you want to go over that rock. Yeah, something like that. More to the left, or more to the right, I mean. Then for this area, this guy has a brute shot. You kind of want that to do a brute shot jump. I mean, I guess I'll show the strat without the brute shot first. So you want to shoot them kind of like that to make them line up. You want to shoot the guy to the right first. Then you want to shoot then they line up, and you want to get the collateral shot on both of them. And then you want to kill these two guys to get a checkpoint in this cave. You can actually delay that checkpoint a couple times by mailing or jumping to get it later in the cave. So in case you die in this area, the revert won't be as long. So I got it right in the start of this cave. If I had meleeed like 2 or 3 times, I could have gotten it here, and would have been a little better. I actually have a DC right now, which I was kind of hoping would happen. I can show something about that later. But something you need to pay attention to right here is this guy. This guy is the main problem in this area. You want to get up there, and he's really the only enemy that can shoot you here. So this is like the normal strat. You jump on this antenna, you do a jump up here, and there's like 2 load zones that collide here. So if you look in the corner, it says loading done over and over. That's why it's lagging like that. Doesn't actually add any in-game time or real time. I mean, it only adds real time, which doesn't matter for Halo 3. So you might as well. You can actually go around it, sort of. Let me see if I can show. By the way, sometimes this guy will notice you early. If he does, you want to shoot him, and I think he almost always does that on MCC. Don't quote me on that. I don't have MCC, but I think that's the case. So if this guy knows you early like that, I like to headshot him, and then do this. and if the problem with that is it alerts the other enemies. So if you have a bubble, you might want to throw it there. But normally the best thing is just ignore him, and you can actually turn around once you get up here and sort of headshot him like that. And as you saw, I didn't get the lag there, because I kind of went around the load zones. You go a little more to the left when you when you get up there, you'll avoid the lag. So that's kind of the slow way to get through this area, and it's actually pretty pretty inconsistent way to get through as well. Not really because the jump is hard, but because the enemies will often fuck you. So the better way to get through this area is to do either a frag plus brute shot jump up there, or a frag plus equipment jump up there. And if you want to be safe, I'd recommend doing this in full game. Shoot this guy first, headshot him or shoot him twice or whatever. Then I kind of fucked up there, but let me see if I can show you. This you can only do this if you get an equipment jump, equipment before. If you don't get equipment before, either a DC or a flare, you're gonna have to pick up the brute shot. But I didn't do this time, so I'm gonna have to restart the level. So that's how you do it. This jump is kind of tricky. Kind of have to hold back in the air and then jump late after DC. So you kind of have to wait on the box for a bit, so you jump right as it explodes. Then you want to hold back in the air, so you don't like, because if you just hold forward, you'll hit this rock here. So you want to hold back a little bit in the air. And on OG, you have to jump late off a DC if you're doing an equipment jump off it. On MCC, it's a lot more lenient. You can jump like, you can do that. Okay, it worked now. Let me see if I can show you. You can do it like that, basically. I've seen people do, and you can do a jump off it. You can't do that in OG. You have to kind of do a late jump. So if you're doing the DC jump or the equipment jump, you want to throw a nade here as well. Bounce it off that rock. Then this guy can shoot you. You can nail him with him a couple different ways. Easiest way is to do what I just did there. Nail him twice, once in the front, once in the back. You can also throw like a spike nade or a plasma nade. You can stun him with the sniper. Bunch of different things. I guess I'll show that one more time. And you don't have to kill the jackal, but in full game I'd advise to always kill the jackal. A couple of different ways to deal with that guy. Now I'm gonna show the brute shot way, which is probably the best. I mean, definitely the best way to get through this area. Not only is it the fastest, it's arguably the most consistent as well. I'd say it's the most consistent, so it's probably worth learning if you wanna get a decent time in this level or get a decent full game time as well. I'd recommend learning it. A lot of people have trouble with the frag plus brute shot jump, but it's really not that bad once you just do the right setup. I'm gonna wait for checkpoint here just because of the sake of the tutorial. Make sure I get it. Alright, nice. I personally do that side. Find the other one kind of hard. So actually, there's a couple different ways to get through this area and grab the brute shot at the same time. What I do is I do the same thing I did before, where I hit this guy once, and do that, then grab it like that. But oftentimes the second guy will drop a bubble, and the first guy will also drop something, and or the spiker will get in the way, so you'll have a hard time picking it up. If that happens, I just do the other jump I showed you, where you jump off the antenna and you get up to the laggy area like that. That's what I do personally. There's actually a different strat to get through this area, which is actually slightly faster as well, where you don't really need to worry about that. And that's what history does, history 100. So I personally don't do it, so I'm not great at it, but you basically, let me see if I can show you. You basically do that. Oh, I got a suicide grunt. That's pretty unlucky. That doesn't happen very often, but it does happen every once in a while, and there's not really anything you can do about it. You want to take out that guy, then you want to wait for that guy to get a melee on you, like that. You want to make sure he melees you, because if he melees you, he can shoot you for a short while. So, I'm not very good at this, as you can tell. I don't really do it. But after this guy melees you, you kind of jump over him like that. Oh, he didn't melee me that time. And then you do a frag boost. And you might be wondering why that frag boost was so incredibly powerful. There's actually... see those things right there? They blow up and they boost you a bunch extra, which is why this strat works, kind of. Kinda wanna get that guy in 2 shots, so you just have to be good and get the headshot. So I kinda got stuck on him there, but you can see the general idea. If you wanna do that strat, I'd recommend watching some of History 100 runs, because he's good at it. So I'm gonna melee twice here. See, I got the checkpoint late there. And this, what I'm about to do here is what I'd pretty much recommend everyone to do. This is what you kind of should do in full game. Kill this guy, do this box jump here, like that. And then, very important here, hold the brute shot. You'll see these guys get scared. That's because the brute shot has a what's called a scareness factor. And it basically changes how AI react. So you want to make sure, so we don't need to throw a frag for this strat, because they get scared of you anyways. Okay? And then this guy won't get scared, so deal with him however you like. In full game I like to kill him like that, because then you can pick up a bubble if you drop some, which is useful later in the level. But yeah, I'll show this box jump a couple times. I throw the nade, I basically line up so that I throw the nade like that. I keep my crosser in between these two things. Then I kind of have this angle at the ground. I don't really have a good setup, so I'm sorry about that. Kind of have to get the feel for it. But I throw it like that. And then it's just timing. The IL strat is the same thing, but you just don't kill this guy. And oftentimes, well, not that often, sometimes he'll kill you. And that's why I'd recommend killing him in full game. I'd waste like maybe 2 seconds. So if you're not going for like the world record, I'd say kill him in an IL as well. I think that's everything I have to say about that area, so I'm gonna continue. I got a bubble from that guy, so that's nice. This tutorial is probably gonna be very long, by the way. I'm sorry about it. In this area there's pretty much 2 different strats. Well, technically 3, but I'm not gonna go into the DC launch. I think Paradoxic already touched on that either way. Kill this guy, otherwise he'll kill you. Actually, if you're doing the I'll show the rocket shot to the Prowler kill first, which is the easier and the more consistent strat. If you're doing that, you don't need to kill him. You can just basically kill a grunt there, Grab the rocket. Get up here. I like to melee twice as well after reloading. Get the checkpoint as late as possible. Then set up for this rocket shot. I don't know, it's kind of feel. I keep my crosshair there on this, I guess on this white thing right here, kind of, or slightly to the left of it. Then as soon as I see him come over the whatever this is, over the hill, I shoot. Then I wait a little, jump up here to get protection from this guy. Do that. Very simple, very easy, very consistent. I recommend that to any new runner. I'm gonna double revert here so I can show the faster strat. So the other strat is you need to kill this guy. Kill any grunts that stand in your way, basically, just so they're out of your way. Grab the rocket like that. Now, when you get into the mongoose, you need to take a pretty specific driving path. You need to go to the left. If you go straight, just straight right there, you'll go over that hill in a really weird way, and you'll lose all your momentum, basically. And you just take the mongoose through this area. And the more consistent way is take the second ghost. Like this. Usually that grunt gets in first, and then you have to board him. Got kinda lucky there though. And this chopper, if you hear him boost when you go past him, like if you hear him boost, like right now, he didn't boost that time. You're pretty much guaranteed to get through. For the fastest strat, however, is grabbing this first ghost. I didn't have very good driving there. You grab this first ghost, sorry. Kind of have to have, the problem with this strat is these guys will often shoot you in the air and they'll screw you up, and this chopper will often shoot you as well. That guy boosted, so now I should be fine. Take this ghost. You want to turn to the left here? Oh, my controller just disconnected for some reason. Right. Well, you want to turn to the left there, because if you turn to the right, then you'll get aim assist to the prowlers, and it'll actually be slower turning the other direction. So I'll show that one more time. Without my controller disconnecting. So this is how you want to do the drive the fastest possible. Lift your nose around this corner. Don't lift your nose against the get around the first corner. Get up this rock fast. I do like this. I left my corner and go up there. And this ghost driving, going on this rock right here, is you can actually lose and save a lot of time here. And it took me quite a while to get fast at it. This checkpoint's kind of awkward, right? But the way I boost like this, and then I start lifting my nose up, and then kind of fall on that perfectly. If I don't lift my nose up here, I'll show you what happens. Boom. You kind of crash into that. You lose some speed. But if you lift your nose up, you'll usually keep a lot of your speed. Yeah. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of nice to lift your nose up there. It's not necessary, but I do it. There's also a trigger here that you're skipping. So there are no enemies here. Usually there would be if I hit that trigger. If you do accidentally hit it while you're doing the drive there, don't fret. You're not screwed. You can still do that dawn fight. It's just a little different and it gets a lot more annoying. If it's in full game, if you got the checkpoint going around the corner like I did, probably just revert if you're not too comfortable doing the dogfight. I've done it a bunch with it in the trigger, so I'm pretty comfortable with it, but I'd probably continue. But if you're new, I'd say just revert. So, dogfight. There's a bunch of different ways to do this fight. I'm gonna show the fastest strats, I guess. I'm not gonna go into the chopper strats and that sort of thing. Lift your nose up when you... I also lift my nose up when I'm about to hit the ground here to get a smooth landing. That actually helps a lot. So, first things first, stop in this cave, line up this rocket shot. You wanna line up on this nice leg, which is right above this thing on the box. So, and shoot him before he gets there. And then the way I do it is I do a second rocket shot on this guy, then I just straight ahead. You see, I got 356 score. That means I got all the enemies that you should get with the rocket shot, so that's how you can know. And this guy gets glitched and he starts like shooting at your ghost, or I don't know what he does. You wanna get these guys. Oftentimes they line up like that, you can get some cool collateral shots. Wanna wait for this. Oh, I messed up there. See if I can save it. Ah, alright. Well, after shooting the first ghost with the rocket, you can actually be fast. If you want to be fast, you can jump up, like I did right there. And you can shoot the second one a little faster. If you want to be safe, just stand by the rock and wait. So, another thing you should be paying attention to is how many of these brutes go this way and how many go that way. If this second ghost kind of trolls you like this, throw a nade on that guy, then try to deal with him however you can. He was really trolly there. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like, got himself stuck and shot me. But yeah, you want to pay attention to how many of the brutes go towards you and how many go the other way, because that's really useful information to have. Like if three of them go towards you and you kill two of them, you know you have one to deal with on each side. It's really good information to have. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that guy went. Oh, I actually missed the shot here. See if I can recover. Alright. I actually don't usually do that setup for the rocket shot, which is why I'm kind of bad at it. I can show my setup as well, but I'd recommend learning the setup from the cave, because I mean, it's definitely better than the one I do, because it's safer and it's the same speed. So, one of the brutes, there are 4 brutes in total. I only killed 3, so I'm pretty sure either one got in my ghost over there. Which, just ignore him if he does. I think it did. Yeah, just ignore him if he does that, basically. And yeah. Oh, I gotta check my. I guess I'll double revert. probably the most important thing about Dawnfight is basically the faster you go, the easier it'll be for you to get through. Probably mostly because the wraiths actually start moving at a certain point, and oh yeah, I was gonna show the other setup for the rocket shot, which is slightly easier, to be fair, but it's also slightly less safe because the wraith has a chance of shooting you. It's rare for him to shoot you, but it can happen. So I'd recommend learning the one from the cave. So this is what I do right here. I go to the left of this turret, which seems to mess up the route a lot more. Like, it makes it a lot more rare for him to actually shoot you. Right, one went left, or one went towards me. You want to make sure to get this turret grunt with that first shot as well. And if you don't, you'll have to... Oh, I missed a shot apparently. I didn't even realize. Not sure that happened. You need to be really... another reason why it's good to be fast is... the brutes will try to get into your ghost after you're done. And you really want to prevent that.
Commander, bring her down.
So, this guy, one of the grunts will drop some fuel rod ammo, and there's fuel rod in that crate. There's a couple different strats to get through this area. This next area, which is the tank section. Probably the best strat, like, I'd say the best strat objectively is out of bounds tankless, which I guess I'll show first. So you need to be fast here to get a ghost in time for dawn to come down. By the way, make sure to look at the sky after you're done with dawn fight. It makes the dawn come down faster. Then there's a setup. Oh, I actually messed that up. Yeah, kind of awkward. If you don't think you're gonna make it to the ghost in time, you can actually purposely not look at the sky and make it come down faster, like I'm doing right now. I'm gonna look at the sky later, and that'll give me some more time to set this up. So we're using the floaty effects of the dawn coming down to get up on this ledge. So right as the epic music starts playing is when you want to do that. Oh. Wow. You don't want that to happen. If that happens, you're pretty much screwed.
Beginning my descent.
Look, up high. Here she comes. Is the dawn rated for atmosphere? I guess we're gonna find out. Hey, take cover.
It's not too precise. It's pretty lenient, the timing, I would say. But as you get out of this ghost, you want to push up against it. Press B to flip it, like I just did. And that'll help with this ghost move.
Thanks, Chief.
If you press B too fast, you'll get in the ghost, so make sure it says flip.
Johnson, have the elite
And, alright, so I gotta check on you a second, show you. If I get into this ghost... Oh, wait, let me move it a bit more. Okay. Okay, this should... if I get into the ghost, it'll do that.
Don't worry.
And if I try to do it right now, I can't move right now. That's because I've broken the first barrier, and but the ghost is still inside. So we're out of bounds right now, but the ghost is still in bounds, kind of,
If we can't fly
because it hasn't gone through the soft barrier yet. So we need to push it through the soft barrier, like this.
Spark will be happy to pry them open.
This should work. That was kind of a weird weird boost there, but I mean it works. So when you're doing this ghost, when you're flipping this ghost, make sure you're always. Oh, I went back in bounds. Make sure you're always shooting as far away as you possibly can while you're still moving it. Like, look at this. I can shoot here, here. That's the closest I can shoot. And no matter how far away you shoot, it seems that the ghost always gets moved
Lead the way.
just as far.
Find any locked doors? Spark will be happy to pry them open.
And front thing of the the front, the hood of the ghost just went off, and sometimes that can help you, and sometimes that can hurt you. It sort of makes the ghost fly around all crazy like whenever that happens, and it's kind of random. Sometimes it'll flip towards the ghost. But if you have the choice, if one of the ghosts has the hood on and one of them looks like this, make sure that you pick the one that has the hood on, because you want the ghost that's as little damage as possible for this. And then another important thing is I'm doing it pretty fast right now, and that's important because you want to make sure that the ghost keeps its momentum throughout this entire thing, because that'll make it a lot more consistent. Like, you don't want to do it like this. Like, this would probably work because I got a good first boost, but you don't really want to do it like that. Usually it's better to just try to be kind of fast with it. I shot too close there, and that time the hood flew off and it was really bad for me. And if you don't think you're gonna make it and the ghost is like this, you can kind of cheese it like this.
Can't fly over
Be
the wall.
worried about it,
Go right through it. Chief, take
and
one of the
this should work.
lead
Oh,
the way. Find
just outside the zone. The hood is exploding in a really bad way for me right now. See, like that? That didn't boost it at all. And the place you need to get it to go is basically on this line right here. That's how far you need it to go. But
can't fly over the wall. We'll go right through it.
when it's down here,
Take one of the
you can
tanks
kind of.
the way. You find
It doesn't need to go as far in this direction. When it's down here, I don't think this will work, but this might actually work, even though it's not too far over there. Or maybe this is back in bounds. No, this worked. See, whereas if I would have done up here, if the ghost would have been like over here, which is where it was like, that wouldn't have worked. So it's a little more lenient when it's down there. Keep that in mind. So when you move the ghost out of bounds and yourself out of bounds, you're good. You can just skip the entire tank section basically. Make sure you drive up here. If you just drive like this, you'll hit a trigger. If you try to drive as optimally as possible, as optimal path as possible, you'll hit a trigger, and you don't want to do that. So make sure you drive around it like this. Good driving. Yeah, I got a little greedy there. You should really stop boosting here, not like I do it. If you just boost on here, you'll die to fall timer, so you need to take it kind of slow. Do it like that. Oh, I did hit the trigger. What? Yeah, so those ghosts spawn if you hit the trigger. I'm not sure how I hit the trigger that time, but it gets really laggy sometimes when you're doing this. Yeah, at least if you're an OG. If you're an MCC, you should. Wait, what? Okay, this is. I must have already hit the trigger before this checkpoint, because I probably drove too far to the left when I was showing stuff. Yeah, they're there already. Alright. Guess I need to double revert them. Or, yeah. So make sure you drive to the right here. And this should be fine. If it's not, I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, the ghosts aren't there this time, that's good. So there are no enemies in here, that's because we haven't hit the trigger yet to spawn them. It's like right there. You have to kill these, enemies to open the door right there. There's pretty much two ways of doing this fight without a tank. I'll show the easy one first. The safe one, the one I'd recommend doing in full game.
All armor, form up on the lower doorway. Chief, get upstairs. Have your robot pick that lock.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, so the reason that didn't work right there is I used a brute shot instead of fuel rod, which gives less power when you jump with it. So I'd recommend using the fuel rod. You can make it with the brute shot, but there's really no point in doing it, to be honest. Like no point in really preserving fuel rod ammo because it's not that precious. Destroy that turret, go over here. This setup is kind of weird. Get that early phantom kill. That's how I do it. There's a couple of different ways of doing it, but if you kill the phantom too late, this wraith will be alive. There'll be 2 brutes in this wraith, and you need to kill it immediately. So if that happens, just like navigate your way through the debris and backsmack it, board it, backsmack it, kill it. You're good. The marines are here, which this kind of messes this up, but this is how you do it. Take out these 2 turrets. Then, if you're in full game, or if you want to do this this version of this fight, then you can kind of, that turret guy, sometimes he'll break, just like the one in Doll fight. But sometimes he won't, and he'll kill you. Oh. I think what happened there is, what might have happened there is, either I just got a really weird bounce, or the ghost blew up and boosted me. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just getting a really weird bounce right now. Not sure why. By the way, for this jump, I just crouch. I don't do a slide jump, I just crouch. That. You'll get a smaller slide, and it's more consistent. That's probably not gonna work. No, it did. Okay. So the wraith is all good and dead. I probably wouldn't recommend killing this third guy before you board it. You can do it like this. Like that. That's probably more consistent than just boarding it. So if you're doing full game, probably do that. That's probably the place that you're most likely to die, is either the gunner killing you or that happening. One wraith shot and you're dead. That's pretty scary section. And checkpoint's pretty far back, so probably work, yeah. I'm kinda low on shields here. Yeah. This fight can be pretty brutal sometimes. If you want to be safe, you can just you don't have to board that wraith. You can actually just kill it with the chopper from far away.
Yeah, well, you're also our ticket through this wall. Hope you don't
Grab
mind.
it. I always make sure the phantom dies. I never assume it's gonna die. Make sure it dies early before you start going towards the chopper. Really. Taking down my shields. Yeah, I definitely would have died there if I tried to board the wraith. If you have full shields, you may want to consider just boarding it immediately to save some time. But yeah. There's a sweet spot with wraiths where right now the gunner isn't I need to go a little further away. The gunner isn't gonna shoot me, and the driver isn't gonna shoot me either. Cause I'm too far away for the gunner, I'm too close for the wraith cannon. And that's the range you wanna be when you just take that guy out. And then you wanna you wanna get back in your chopper over there actually. My bad. Guess if you forget like me, you can take one of these. It's fine, really. And then just wait for this door to open. If you want, you can sort of try to take out some ghosts while you're waiting, which will make the door open faster. But that's basically that strat. I'm gonna show the faster strat. So for this, you can either just do with a ghost, which is super inconsistent, or you can just take a chopper. I'm gonna take a chopper first, which is the way I'd say you should always do it. The ghost is a very stupid. Do it. So this setup, kill the phantom early. I'm not sure if that's gonna work. Might not. So that's the main idea for this strat. It's killing that phantom early. So the setup for this trick, I'll show you. So you wanna line up your crosshair so that without aiming in, it's on the corner of this building right here, like the bottom of my crosshair. It's hitting the corner of this building, and it's hitting the top of my crosshair is hitting the top of the like incline thing right here. I'll just do with a ghost. It's faster. Need to show you the setup. So that's, and you want to do the first shot. You wanna shoot the first shot as soon as you see the phantom spawn, and then you want to shoot 5 shots, and you want the last shot to be right here at the end of this these lines right here. So when your crosshair is in the middle of the end of those lines, that's where the last shot should be. So you want to spread out 5 shots evenly throughout between this first shot up here and then down here. That wasn't very even. It doesn't have to be. Oftentimes it'll work anyways. This might work. No, it didn't. Optimally, they should be as even as possible. So always try to strive for that. It's even after practicing for a while, it can be pretty hard to get consistently. That wasn't very even at all. I haven't done this in a while. That worked though. So that's the setup for that trick. There's also been ideas recently about you can actually do it like this, and it's like something like that, and then just go up here, and it's faster because it saves you the backtracking. But that's really hard, and the problem with that is also the wraiths can shoot you, and the setup isn't really consistent yet. So normally we would take the chopper here. They should be completely even, but
Yeah, well, you're all so
they don't have to be. As you saw, that still worked, and this driving is top tier right now. I want to take out this Wraith from far away, the chopper. If you're doing chopper strats, so you kind of want to inch yourself further and further forward, while you're shooting, so that the Wraith shots will miss. That time it didn't work, however, obviously.
all armor, form up on the lower doorway. Chief, get upstairs. Have your robot pick that lock.
I beg your pardon. I am 343 Guilty Spar, monitor of installation 04.
Yeah, well, you're also our ticket through this wall. So if you don't
I
mind,
missed, but for the sake of the tutorial, I'll continue. I still showcase this. Sometimes the ghost won't come out until way too late, and it's really annoying. If the last ghost has come out, you can sometimes take it out with the Wraith instead. But once you've taken out the driver and the gunner, take this Wraith. Around, right behind this rock is the sweet spot for this Wraith not to shoot you. You need to be careful here, because you're very squishy in this Wraith for some reason. Like, I'm almost dead. Yeah, I even die there, because I missed that last shot. But you really need to be careful there, because you can die super easily.
all armor, form up on the lower doorway. Chief, get upstairs. Have your robot pick that lock.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, that definitely won't work.
343 Guilty Spar,
If it does, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, well, you're also our ticket
Okay,
through
it,
this wall.
yeah.
If you don't mind,
They don't need to be even, but try to make them even. I just got lucky there, really. Once you've taken out the driver, you can focus your attention on the ghost as well, instead, because the Wraith won't move, so you don't need to worry about it hiding behind this rock like you normally do. I like to start moving right before I'm doing the first shot. And the choppers can kill you while you're driving over here. They didn't that time, but that can happen. And yeah, that's that strat basically. Am I dropping frames right now? I am, aren't I? Yeah, I've dropped a ton of frames. That's pretty bad. Thankfully I'm recording this, so. The faster way to do this strat is just using a ghost and not picking up a chopper. I'll show you how to do that, but I probably, I mean, I don't even know if I'll be able to do it.
I beg your pardon. I am 343 Guilty Spar.
I'll be able to get a successful attempt here.
yeah, well, you're also our ticket through this
You wanna drive to the right of this rock, like this, to mess up this gunner. Or, well, hopefully mess up that gunner. As you can see, this strat is really dumb. But the general idea is board the Wraith instead of destroying with the chopper. Board it, strike it 4 times, take out the ghost. Now that's the part where you usually die. The ghost will kill you like 90% of the time. Yeah, this gunner's messed up right now. Oh, the other way took out one of the ghosts. Wow, that's incredibly lucky. Yeah, I actually made it. Cool. Oh, this... Wait, is it alive? Did I miss the phantom kill? I guess I did. I didn't realize. Yeah, if you miss the phantom kill, you're pretty much fucked. You're really squishing this fight. It's like, you can't really do it with the Wraith. I guess I just got super lucky here, but I recommend just reverting in full game. If you missed the phantom kill, it's really bad. I think that's all I have to say about Outbound Tankless, really. Doing this strat with the ghost is like 5 seconds faster than chopper strats, by the way. So it's really not worth it in my opinion. This is already pretty long, so um, I'll mention some different strats
Enjoy it while you
for the
can,
tank
Reed.
section.
As soon as we land, we're right back to it. Priority 1. Secure a landing zone for the commander's frigate. Keep your eyes and ears open.
I'll also show
the
how to
intel
do
we can
dome
get.
fight if you did
Wherever the hell we are.
the prowler kill.
Two Marines.
Instead of the mongoose drive, you did it with a prowler.
Go, go, go.
I'll show you how to do a dome fight then, because you have one less rocket. Do that. So it's kind of, it'll be kind of different. But mostly the same.
Chief, eyes on.
You can jump there instead of melee. I prefer jumping. Oh. I can't believe that worked. The last 3 levels. Well, I don't know about Cortana and Halo, but I could make it sort of a covenant. So yeah, doing prowler strats here. By the way, make sure you pick up 2 frags here, or make sure you have 2 frags. Area. So if you want to do prowler strats, you can do it like this. Setup Paradoxic does in this video is kind of slow, kind of inconsistent, so I'd recommend doing that. I think I'm dropping a lot of frames right now, by the way. I'm sorry about that. There's really not much I can do about it. That's a pretty rare death. If you're worried about that happening, there's a way to avoid that pretty much every time. But to be honest, that's a very rare death. I haven't done these prowler strats in a while. My driving isn't optimal. But yeah, if your shields are low here, and you think these guys are gonna kill you, you can drive up here instead. Just drop down here. Make sure you don't have high speeds, or you'll die to fall timer like that. Again, raise your nose to get over there quickly. So make sure you don't have high velocity going off that edge, or you'll die to fall timer. To do that, going around that corner fast with the ghost, I recommend just practicing it, playing around for a long time. Took me a while to be able to get it that fast. So when you're doing the on-fight with one less rocket, I'm gonna do this setup, but you can do it from the cave as well. So you still do this rocket shot, but you don't really want to kill that other thing with a rocket. This sniper nest right here. Because you need two rockets to ghost pretty much. So you want to snipe this thing instead. And if you have, like, if you think you have the time, you can snipe these guys as well. It's, as you can see, the ghosts come pretty early though. So I'd recommend just not sniping brutes if you're doing that strat. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. Oh, there he is. Which jump was I gonna do? Right.
Roger that.
So,
Beginning my
if you don't want to do advanced tankless, it's not an easy strat really.
Here she comes!
If you're just starting out, you shouldn't really do it.
Guess we're gonna find out. Hey, take cover!
If you're just doing like your first run, I'd say just take the tank like normal. Take it through the cave here. Like, if you watched any older IL from like 2015 or something, or Nintendo's IL, you can see how he does it.
Thanks, Chief. Wouldn't have lasted much longer up there.
Just take the tank,
Up to the back of the frigate.
etc. But if you want to be kind of faster, right as you see these black bars up here,
Thanks, Chief. Wouldn't have lasted much longer up there.
I already showed you in this video, so you should know how to do this.
Have the
But
elites found anything?
there's a few things I wanted to touch on.
On the other side of the wall, ma'am. But it's surrounded by brute heavy armor.
So you need to hit that trigger there,
I've got a plan.
spawn the enemies in,
Can't fly over
I think.
the wall. We'll go right through it. Chief, take one of the tanks.
The way this works is basically is the tanks are supposed to teleport to you if you get outside this area, and there's a couple spots off this cliff where it counts as being outside this area, and one of them is over here, like over there. I didn't go to it that time, but there's also one. If I can find it, it's like, is it up here? Yeah. So the tanks teleported there, and it's actually slightly faster than going over here. I still go over here though, because you don't really want to be as fast as possible, because you want to give the enemies in the cave some time to come out. Otherwise, they can really destroy you while you're trying to get past them. So I took it really slow right now, so this should be completely fine. Basically, the slower you take it, the safer it'll be. If there are a bunch of enemies by this cave, you might want to wait by those rocks a bit. And if you lose your shields, you can also wait behind these rocks to get them back. Because the enemies in this area can sometimes kill you. That's pretty much all I have to say about tank teleport, I think. It's a really good trick. That's probably what I'd recommend most people to do. You're pretty new. I guess I'll show how I do the tank drive. The fast way, basically. You only want to kill that ship 3 times to kill the driver only. Then you want to let your gunner take care of the rest. And basically, if you do that, you can just keep holding forward this entire time. And make sure you don't do what I just did and just drive right over the debris. Make sure you avoid it, because you'll always get stuck on it. Again, for this, I just killed the drivers. These raids the first time. So 3 shots. Basically to immobilize them. I missed 1 shot there, so took 4. Then I go for the choppers, because they can be really hard to kill otherwise. Shoot this one three times in the core to kill it. Oh, I missed 1 shot. So the Wraith is gonna be alive now, because I missed 1 shot. It's 5 in the body, 3 in the core, I think. You wanna kill those ghosts. I think it's worth slowing down a bit to kill him. Now, as you're going towards here, you can kill that wraith, and obviously I failed the phantom shots. This guy's alive, and everything is dead right now. So that's why it's nice to kill the choppers. It's a little harder to kill the choppers, but it's really nice because this door opens faster. Basically, the more enemies there, the faster it'll open.
Here we are. Please follow me.
Look into this corner. Interesting thing is, if you're look in this corner to get teleport spark, and however, if you're done out of bounds tankless, spark won't be there to open the door for you, and he'll actually teleport down this hallway faster. So that's another way tankless saves like 3 seconds or something.
Activate a bridge.
It's pretty interesting.
Good
Getting
work,
good at
team.
this driving
Link up
just
with our
takes some
armor on the far
practice.
side of the wall. Make your way
I
down
recommend.
the tunnel.
I do it like this. This is the fastest way. There's a couple different ways to do this drive. You can shoot with the chopper like that to get a better landing,
Heads up, Marines. You got trouble.
as well as avoid fall timers sometimes.
Warm up. Hit 'em where it hurts.
I don't think I'm gonna go over all the ways to do scary board, just because Paradox covered that pretty well in this video. You can pick up spikes there. However, the setup for the board I do, which is frag plus fuel rod jump, I'm gonna show you right now. So I line up with this line on the floor right here. You can might be able to see it. It's kind of hard to see. Then I got shot by a wraith. Kind of hard to explain because how fast you have to do it. I'll try to get down there as fast as possible, so I have some time to explain.
Warm up. Hit 'em where it hurts.
Target those rays.
You can drive to the left or to the right of that rock. You want to drive to the right here, just so that one of the grunts in the structure in the middle there doesn't see you, start shooting at you. You want to place your chopper there, so it's in a good spot for you. And this wraith shot me, this phantom shot me, so I'm gonna go for this board instead. That's sort of the backup. The phantom starts shooting you. You have to have completely full shields and completely full health to survive the jump. So if you're getting shot by the phantom, abort, go for the
Find that power core, Chief.
fuel rod board. And then your chopper is kind of far out of the way, but just have to deal with it really. It's pretty rare for the phantom to shoot you. I'm not sure why it happens. He's supposed to drop. Usually he either just stays up top where he is right now, or he stops to place down some troops here in the middle. That's what he's supposed to do. I'm not really sure why. Sometimes just skips over that part. But again, to do this jump, I line up with this line on the floor. I don't have a lineup for how far back I go. It's kind of just feel. Then right there, when you see the red dot start moving, like it stops for a second, then it starts moving again. That's when you throw the frag, right when it starts moving again. And I think I sort of got hit by the scarab like there.
Heads up,
It's
Marines.
kind of precise how you really need to make sure you're straight with the line, otherwise you'll hit the scarab leg. That's usually how you'll mess it up. You're not completely flush with the line, so always make sure completely straight. So make sure you're straight with the line, and right there it started moving again, and we're up there. I have you can't damage the scarab right away. If I shoot right now, it's invincible. I wait for the scarab to take 5 steps. I listen for it, and that's how after it's taken 5 steps, you know it. Shoot it. 5, right there. That was the 5th one. Um, the faster way to do this drive, if you're doing an IL, don't do this in full game, is driving through here. And wow, I got kind of lucky there. I mean, you'll survive most of the time, really. It's definitely worth it if you're going for a decent IL time. But definitely, I would say definitely don't do it in full game. And the reason it's faster, I'll show you right now. The reason that driving like that is faster, you might think, well, you need to wait for this pelican anyways, right? Right there. You'll see he started moving right there. Usually he'll stay there until you're at the top of this ramp. So pretty much you need to be at the top of this ramp right when he stops right there, and you'll be at the top of the ramp if you drive like that. Do that in IL, don't do it in full games. Otherwise, do the drive that Paradoxic showed in this video. You can grab frags from these guys. You need to kill them because it skips a dialogue. Oh well, you need to kill one of the Marines really. I think it's the guy that drops out to the left is the one you need to kill. If you have a plasma, you might as well kill both though. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so at this point, hopefully, you'll have a bubble like I do. Basically, throughout the entire level, you can get, there's a bunch of chances to get a bubble. You should have one by now. You can get one at Dawn Fight. You can get one at the Spark door, and the Spark opens after the tank section. You can get one from the boots in the beginning. So you should have one. Oh shit, sorry about that. So you should have one by now. If you don't, basically the last chance to get one is from this guy right here. Basically, like beam rifle, picking up a sentinel beam here is undoubtedly the best strat. Like it's a very good strat, and definitely I'm not even gonna go through any other strats. But honestly, it's the best. So kill this guy at least. I mean, if you have a bubble, you don't need to kill him, but you might as well. You can melee here a couple times to lay this checkpoint. That. What I recommend pretty much everyone to do, unless maybe you're going for IL world record, even if you're going for a good IL time, I'd say drop down like this. Then you go to as right as possible, and hopefully these guys won't notice you. And that'll make the next room a lot easier. Do that in full games, do that in ILs pretty much, unless you're going for world record. That's the fastest strat. I just did. But if these guys spot you, if these guys wake up, then the guys in the next room will be up as well. That's why you kind of want them not to notice you. Usually you're fine if they notice you late like that. And sometimes you'll get a checkpoint here without even having to wait like this. Like Paradoxic shows this video. They don't spot you at all. You usually get a checkpoint even if you don't wait. So if I have a spike, I throw a spike on this guy, otherwise you can just ignore him. Throw a bolt, yeah, they're woken up right now, which makes this a little harder. But I guess it's kind of good for the tutorial. See, that guy, usually he's like waking up at that point. What you can do, what I usually do, they're woken up, is instead of going like that, I'll jump over here, and that guy can't really shoot you. It makes throwing that plasma a little harder. You either want to stick one of you either want to stick the first fruit with the plasma or have it land in between them, just to damage them, take down their shields. Then you can just kill them with 2 or 3 fuel rods instead of like 5 fuel rods. Right, they didn't notice me that time. That's really nice. And see, I got a checkpoint without even having to wait. So now I can do like this, which is a lot safer. Because these guys will spot you. And that guy even dropped a bubble. So basically, if you have a bubble and they don't wake up, it's basically guaranteed free entry through this area. You shouldn't really ever die there. So that first, getting through this area, this room the first time is I mean, it's consistent if you have a bubble. It's consistent-ish. Don't think I really have much to say about that room. Just do pretty much exactly what I did, and you should be fine.
Get back inside while
You can actually do like a super slide here if you do a fuel rod jump like that. It's kind of too good. I wouldn't recommend doing in Legendary because I think it can prevent you from getting the checkpoint in this hallway. But that's the thing you can do to save the frames. You can also do like a frag boost here if you have a frag, or if you have 2 frags. I'd recommend, if you have a frag, I'd recommend throwing it like that. Damage these guys. Optimally, you don't want them to overcharge you. They will most of the time. This hallway is probably the worst part of Spire's entire section. Usually get a checkpoint in this hallway, even if you don't stop and wait. This is actually really nice right now. So it's a little hard to explain this. How to get through here. This guy is really weird. I'm not sure why he's here. I don't think I've seen that before. You want to shoot the mauler guys optimally, and then you wanna the turret guy. He won't die from your brute shots. You're not gonna be able to kill him with brute shots. So you need to just get past him. So a lot of the times he'll throw his power drain, or he'll try to melee you or something like that. If he doesn't, you need to make sure he stops and gets distracted, because that's how you get past him. So that guy, time you throw a power drain, he usually does that. That's probably the most common thing.
I will help your sergeant clear the sky.
If he doesn't, you can do a couple things. You can melee him like that. You can throw a nade. I'd recommend a spike nade, because it's the least likely to damage you. Also, if these boots don't throw a regen, like if you kill them before they throw a regen, make sure you throw it.
I will help your sergeant clear the sky.
Maybe not if you have full shields, but if you're damaged at all, you should probably throw it. That guy like pointed at me or something. Yeah,
I will
it's
help your sergeant clear the sky.
pretty much just do whatever you can, get lucky. I got a pretty good, like these guys are being pretty nice. So that guy, he didn't do anything. I meleeed him once and I threw a spike, and I'm good. Switch to your beam rifle to clear out these guys. It's a lot harder to clear these guys out with their fuel rod. This guy's kind of hiding. The camo brutes will always spawn in the same spot. It's kind of random what they do after they spawn, but they'll usually do the same thing. So, oh, that was really weird.
I will help your sergeant clear the sky.
So I didn't even take any damage there, so I didn't have to throw the regen. So this guy always spawns here. Just take him out easy. The next guy spawns in this corner right here. Usually it doesn't move too much. The next guy spawns up there, like right there in that corner, and he'll usually what he'll do is he'll walk over here and he'll jump down and you can shoot him right here. Then I think the last guy spawns like over here somewhere, and usually he'll walk. Okay, this is a good checkpoint. Usually what he'll do, see, this guy's up here, he spawns up here, and what this guy will usually do is he'll walk right where he is right now. That's where you usually find him. If you're unlucky, they'll start moving, and that's how that's supposed to look basically. If they'll start moving, this guy, if you don't see him here, if you see he's not here, usually he'll be here. So, just like, oh no, he's not here. Just like, go over here and he'll usually be somewhere. And a lot of times the guy up there won't jump down immediately, so you'll start shooting there and you see, oh, he's not there. What I usually do if that happens, I'll be like, oh, he's not there, and I'll start going for this guy instead. And then when I'm done with him, I'll come back to this guy. And fast. If you have a DC in this area, which, by the way, I must point out, if you have a DC, it means pretty much means you didn't have a bubble for the last area. Just kind of dumb. Sometimes you walk over here. What I kind of do is I'll just like shoot freely with the beam rifle, try to see where they are. You don't need to kill these jackals, by the way. So if you have a DC, you can block this doorway by throwing the DC like that, and what'll happen is the brutes, camera brutes, won't get into the next area, and basically for the last load to happen, everything from this point on, from this door onwards, has to be dead. All enemies must be dead in this area. So if you just block out the camera brutes from coming in this area, from following me in here, then you're good. So you can do that with a DC. If you do that, you have to kill the jackals, by the way, because as I said, everything has to be dead, and the jackals spawn in here, so they'll be behind you. As I said before, having a DC here means you're not gonna have a bubble. The camo brute skip doesn't really save much time. It's only a couple seconds really over an optimal camo brute clear. So I really wouldn't recommend doing it, even if you're doing ILs. But it's a thing you can do, and sometimes when you're doing it, the chieftain will be in here and you can just kill him early, because he spawns in here and then he runs down there. I wouldn't recommend killing him early if you see him, because these brutes are supposed to like look at you while you duel the chieftain. So if the chieftain just dies, then they'll start flying away, and you kind of want to kill them while they're just standing around being dumb. So it makes the ending fight really hard if you kill the chieftain early, because they'll start flying away immediately. So it's something you can do on easy, I would say, definitely. But on legendary, it's gonna lose you time pretty much 100, pretty much like 95% of the time. Yeah. The camera brute skip, not really a good thing to do. Not on legendary. Neither is early chieftain kill really. By the way, you going into this final area, you wanna have, I'd say you wanna have at least 4 nades. Usually you'll get fire bombs from these camera brutes, so you'll almost always have 2 fire bombs, and if that's all you have, then you can pick up I just picked up a plasma through the floor, because there are 2 plasmas that spawn there. So just jump like this, and you pick them up after you're done with clearing the cavern brutes. And pretty much guaranteed to have 4 nades at the ending. That's not a good checkpoint, is it? No, it's not. By the way, if you don't have a frag for throwing at the jackals, way over there in that room I'm talking about right now. If you don't have a frag for that, just use a plasma. If you don't have a plasma, just like pray. Throw a spike. You can throw a spike or something to try to scrap them. Just improvise basically. Oh, so he kind of went over here this time. Kind of trolly. Just basically look around with the sentinel beam. Just shooting freely. Make sure these guys don't kill you. And the easiest way to do this fight, I'm gonna show right now. I don't want a checkpoint here. Is boom. And if you don't have 2 extra nades, you can just kill these guys with fuel rod.
Hang tight, Chief. We're on our way.
Oh, and then backsmack the chieftain and do the fuel rod shots to kill those guys, because there's 2 jackals that spawn. Come in that fight. So you can see clearing the cavern brutes is really fast with the sentinel beam. Doing it with a fuel rod is slightly harder because you have to reload and it's really constant shots. So this is what I do. I missed that. Nice. Kill these guys first. It's slightly harder. It's not too bad at all. So these guys die earlier. Backsmack chieftain.
Hang tight, Chief.
Do
We're on our
this.
way.
Boom, they're dead. And yeah, the ending fight, there's really not too much to say. Make sure you have 4 nades basically, and 9 fuel rods, I'd say you want, or at least 8, I'd say, because you want like a couple to kill these guys, and you want at least 4 to do the fight. Or if you have 6 nades, you can just kill them with 6 nades instead of doing these. You can just kill every single one with a nade. Oh, I actually have 5 nades right now. But I guess the message still stands. So you would sort of kill that last guy with a nade or melee him or something. And if you're really out of fuel rod, you can kill these guys with a nade, like that. A frag or a plasma works. Don't think firebomb or spike would be pretty good. So I guess I'll show the ending fight one more time. Usually you'll be completely fine on fuel rod ammo if you're done tank strats, but if you're done out of bounds tankless, you may be a bit little low on fuel rod, just because you have to kill the phantom fuel rod. So I would have used 5 to kill that phantom, so I would have 3 left, so it would still be fine. But you can see it's a little tighter. Then will you wait when chieftain or the pelican can just play around? And yeah, that's Ark on Legendary basically. I tried to keep it pretty short. I don't think it was very short. I think it was like 2 hours, but like an hour and a half I think it was. I don't know, I hope it helped. I tried to go over some of the more nuanced stuff.